Okay, in our rotator cuff rehab, we often use like a medicine ball, and we get into positions, flexion, abduction, external rotation, and we create perturbations. We rotate clockwise, counterclockwise, clockwise, counterclockwise, get into throwing pattern, do that. This is great, but I prefer the newer techniques with this multi-stick bar and by SwingBalance. This is great. Watch what happens here. I start the vibration and the flexion pattern, bring it across the body, and I bring it up, so I'm going to get into throwing pattern, and I bring it back down again. So for your multi-direction shoulder issues, instabilities, rotator cuff problems, give the multi-stick bar. This is a 47-inch, 48-inch, I believe, from SwingBalance. Give it a try. Okay, with our throwing athletes, pitchers, quarterbacks, what we often do in our rehab is we'll work through acceleration, deceleration patterns with tubing. Now, what I found with the multi-stick bar, this is 48-inch from SwingBalance, I found some really cool routines that require some attention to detail, like the distance, separation of your grip's important, and things like that. But let's go through the basics right now. What I'm going to start is I'm going to brace across the body, and I'm going to create a linear effect so that I'm actually throwing almost like if I was fly fishing or casting, and I'm going to throw the bar in what we call a sagittal plane here. I'm coming across while I have it braced. So I'm in an athletic posture, and I'm just starting the oscillation. And so you'll find that when you change the separation, it has a major effect on how much work you're doing. So I'm going to bring her right down. I'm going to work hard right now. So I'm kind of locked out and stable with my left shoulder, and I'm really throwing. And I mean, that is a lot of work. If you could feel the back of my shoulder as it comes back, you'll feel that posterior girdle working hard, and then it works to decelerate as I come through. This is one of the hardest things for coaches to find, is how do we train that deceleration factor, especially when you're coming back from an injury. I mean, this is a load, and of course, I'm working my core all at the same time. This is yards ahead, light years ahead of using some of our older techniques. Multi-stick bar, give it a shot. Okay, with golfers, especially elite level golfers, there's 2 points of major stress in the trail hand and the wrist and the thumb. Impact and when you set the club in transition, all right? We found with our multi-stick bar here by SwingBalance, we can create an exercise that allows us to really work on our grip and forearm strength. Grip strength is really tied in with wrist stability. And professional golfers have 55 kilograms of potential grip strength. That's why it looks like it's effortless to them. The average person might have 35. That's why it looks like they're hanging on for their life. So when you start doing a drill like this, you're going to build wrist strength, forearm strength. It's not for the mild and meek. It requires medical clearance because this is a tough exercise. And I apologize ahead, after I do a few reps, I'm going to lose my breath. So watch what happens here. We start with a baseball grip, choke up a little bit on this 48-inch bar, and I'm going to start the oscillations, try to take it up on a natural swing plane. I'm accelerating and decelerating, accelerating and decelerating. We're not going to go to full transition, but pretty close, and you see the loading going on there. And then back up again. You do 3 sets of that, you'll be losing your breath just like me.